It's Saturday, it's the 9th of May, it's 25 past 9, and it's crack. No, it's not, it's BOBCAST. Good evening, welcome. Nice to have you with us. 9th of May, gosh, we aren't half zooming on. Won't be far long until the 21st of June, and that is the longest day. So, I'm just sitting looking out of my window at the moment, and apologies for that. One of the things about these tablets I'm taking and the whatever's wrong with me, it can be terrible wind. Not nice. It's not trapped as Terry Wogan used to say. It's not the trapped wind we're worried about. Anyhow, as I look out of my window, because I haven't drawn the curtains yet, it's still almost light. It's dusk, and yes. So there we are. Nice. I don't know what your day's been like. I've had an interesting day. Not the most exciting day, I must be honest. Saturday's sort of quiet. I've done a bit of sunbathing. You can probably see, caught the sun again, which is nice. And I've made quite a few phone calls, tended to those who need quite a lot of care, which is what we're here to do, and trying to help people along. Yeah, and did a bit of shopping, bought some stuff for somebody and delivered it, which was good, and watched one of my programs that I've been watching on Netflix. Shitzel, it's called Shitzel, and both Orthodox Jewish people. Really interesting, very interesting indeed. Quite a real challenge to watch, and I'm realizing how little I know and need to learn. But the ultra-Orthodox Jewish people in Jerusalem, well worth watching. It's on Netflix. It's good. It's very good. There's 2 series though, so it takes quite a long time. I'm all excited because I start my new job tomorrow as an apprentice bell ringer. I'm terribly excited, but I think as it's my first day, tomorrow they'll just be showing me the ropes, which is always a good thing to do. It's always good to, I sort of told a friend recently, because this job came up, and I said to this bloke, I've got a new job starting tomorrow. And the bloke said, oh, well, I've just been sacked from mine, and I hear they've taken someone on already. I realised at that point I'd dropped a bit of a clanger. So, okay, shall we tell you a joke? Yeah, straight joke. A man walks into a zoo. The only animal there was a dog. It was a Shih Tzu. Yeah, I like that. Thank you, Kim, for sending that to me. I don't know if you know, I'm a bit of a writer, and a wronger as well. I'm a bit of a writer. I recently published a book about poltergeists. It's doing well. It's flying off the shelves at the moment. Yeah, very, very good. So lots of things happening in the world. We're going to find out tomorrow what Mr. Johnson is going to be saying about lockdown. Whether that'll be agreeing with Ms. Sturgeon and the other 2 First Ministers, we don't really know, but we'll find out tomorrow. I was quite surprised just the number of people who were out, and obviously social distancing's almost becoming a slight thing of the past, which is a bit of a shame, I think, particularly, this week, where for a long time, last 7 days, we've been saying there's been no deaths in the borders, and tomorrow they'll say there's been 1 more. So yes, I hope that everything begins to sort out. Some of the rules and regulations are going to be very, very challenging. Certainly 14 days in isolation or quarantine after you've come back from abroad. That is going to be a bit of a challenge. So I found something on Facebook. I'm a member of a group called the Pun Slingers, which is really good. And one of the things said, make a pun with the car you drive. And I haven't made up my own. It says, please don't dodge this question. It's mainly American. But some of the answers just made me chuckle. Jeepers, what a question. My son and I have a Chevy Duramax. Diesel pull everything. Oh dear. I love driving my car Honda city streets. It's my civic duty to tell you that I will dodge this question, somebody said. And yeah, I think there's some quite funny things. So what pun would you have on the car that you drive? I think it's my civic duty to drive a hybrid. Yeah, that just made me laugh. Heavens in the backseat of my Cadillac. I'm not sure I can afford this. I used to live in Leyland, but now I've moved to the Metro, where I like to play an Allegro down by the marina. It was quite a maxi job, and I met a princess while I was there. And that's some old British, and that's something you don't see as a lot of old British Leylands, but that was some old British Leyland jokes for you. So, when I pass away, I'm going to leave my Subaru to my daughter. It will be my legacy. Yeah, that makes me laugh. I do like that. I drive a Volvo. I know I'm too young to drive a Volvo, but I do. I can't really think of any Volvo jokes. So if you can, then let me know. Pat could talk about her stonic. She likes a gin and stonic. Yeah, that would do. Yeah, that would be okay. And a Kia Royale. So she likes a Kia Royale with a gin and tonic in it. That's not bad off the top of my head. Anyhow, enough of this nonsense. I hope your day's been okay. I'm back in the stripy shirt again. I started off in the blue shirt. I put this rather nice, this lovely soft cotton blue shirt that I put on, long sleeves, but it was far too hot. So I went into the short sleeve and matching short trousers. Well, the shorts don't actually match the shirt. You'll be delighted to know I'd look like something. I don't know what I'd look like actually if I had that. But a pair of blue short sandals, no socks. Well trendy. So, bit of poetry. And thank you to Chris Kent for yesterday. A couple of people have sent me some poems. Yes, absolutely. Thank you very much indeed. Keep them coming in, and let's see if we can find some that I can read out on Bobcast. As you know, I'm a great lover of dogs, but I also like cats. And often had a cat. My mum and dad had two cats, because my mum and dad were Mr. and Mrs. King, obviously. And their names were Liz and Phil, Elizabeth and Philip. Could be ringing a royal residence. So when we were little, we had two cats, and they were called Albert and, yes, you've guessed it, Victoria. We had a cat here called Crackers, rather like Crackers. He was a great cat. And we also had another one whose name's just escaping me. And yeah, we had her for 17 years. Gosh, how's her name escaping me? I had it in my mind before I started talking. But the other type of cats I like are dancing cats, and the poetry that goes behind them. Cats, Andrew Lloyd Webber, fabulous show, seen it many times, really good. But of course it was inspired by the poetry of T.S. Eliot. And we often hear the songs, but we very rarely hear the words written as poems. So I thought I would do at least one, and we'll maybe come back and do some more. So this is one of the ones that I love from T.S. Eliot's Analogy of Cats. Analogy? Whatever it is. A lot of things about cats, but I'm going to read this one. Mungo Jerry and Rumpelteazer were a very notorious couple of cats, as knockabout clown, quick change comedians, tightrope walkers, and acrobats. They had an extensive reputation. They made their home in Victoria Grove. This was merely their centre of operation, for they were incurably given to rove. They were very well known in Cornwall Gardens, in Launceston Place, and in Kensington Square. They had really a little more reputation than a couple of cats can very well bear. If the area window was found ajar, the basement looked like a field of war. If a tile or two came loose off the roof, which presently ceased to be waterproof. If the drawers were pulled out of the bedroom chests, and you couldn't find one of your winter vests. Or if after supper one of the girls suddenly missed her Woolworth pearls, then the family would say, "It's that horrible cat." But was it Mungo Jerry or Rumpelteazer? And most of the time, they left it at that. Mungo Jerry and Rumpelteazer had a very unusual gift of the gab. They were highly efficient cat burglars as well, and remarkably smart at the smash and the grab. They made their home in Victoria Rove. They had no regular occupation. They were plausible fellows who liked to engage a friendly policeman in conversation. When the family assembled for Sunday dinner, with their minds made up that they wouldn't get thinner on Argentine joint, potatoes and greens, and the cook would appear from behind the scenes and say in a voice that was broken with sorrow, "I'm afraid you must wait and have dinner tomorrow, for the joint has gone from the oven like that." The family would say, "It's that horrible cat." But was it Mungo Jerry or Rumpelteazer? And most of the time they left it at that. Mungo Jerry and Rumpelteazer had a wonderful way of working together. Some of the time you would say it was luck, and some of the time you would say it was weather. They would go through the house like a hurricane, and no sober person could take his oath. Was it Mungo Jerry or Rumpelteazer, or could you have sworn it might have been both? And then you heard a dining room smash, and out of the pantry there came a loud crash, or down from the library there came a loud ping from a vase that was commonly said to be Ming. Then the family would say, "Now which was which cat?" It was Mungo Jerry and Rumpelteazer, and there was nothing at all to be done about that. T.S. Eliot at his very best, and yeah, might get some more from cats. Go and download the music, because it is really, really, really good. We had a cat called Crackers, and many years ago, probably 40 years ago, we were decorating our house, and we'd moved everything around, and we got our dinner out, which was half a pound of frozen pork fillet, and that was out to thaw, and it disappeared completely. We couldn't find it anywhere, and then suddenly this cat was sitting next to the radiator, looking very sad. So we phoned the vet. This is a true story. We phoned the vet and said what we thought had happened. And the vet said, "So how's the cat?" And we said, "Well, it's sitting next to the radiator." And the vet said those immortal words, "Well, actually, if you had just eaten half a pound of frozen pork fillet, you would probably be looking pretty sad as well." So there we are. That's my pushy story for today. Rah! And there's a new advert for IKEA. Have you seen it? with a lion. How they train lions to do the things that lion does, I do not know. Anyhow, brilliant stuff. It's oh gosh, we're 12 and a half minutes in. So I'm going to see you tomorrow. Tomorrow's Sunday. Please join us on our website at www.standrewskelso.co.uk, and join us for our worship. You can also find BOBCAST there, of course. The worship's up already, so we're delighted if you could join in that. There's also stuff for the Episcopal Church and St Andrew for Holy Trinity Melrose, all sorts of different places, but find somewhere to worship. All right, I'll speak to you tomorrow. God bless you. Take care. Now watch thou, dear Lord, with those who wake or watch or weep tonight, and give your angels charge over those who sleep. Tend your sick ones, Lord Christ. Rest your weary ones. Bless your dying ones and soothe your suffering ones. Pity your afflicted ones and shield your joyous ones. All for your love's sake. Amen. I'm a bit worried, by the way, just before I go, because I accidentally swallowed a complete bunch of Scrabble tiles. I have to say my next trip to the loo could spell disaster. Bye.